Welcome to Wednesday. It feels like we've already done a week.
Whole week.
And it's only Wednesday. Today we're talking about EVs making up ground, Tesla's being hacked, and Apple Pay later. You pay later.
Apple Pay later?
Apple used to be like, you pay now. Now it's pay
Now
later.
you pay later. Goodness.
how
That's
we're
going to be a
going.
fun one. That's going to be a fun one. It's a
really
good
is.
morning. I'm telling you what. This is like, I started off with just a solid run this morning, and I know you're not a runner, and I get it.
I trust me.
But
I get it. I
there's
understand
just,
what
like-
that does. I've run in the morning before.
when you get through the run and like there's a certain, some runs like you get through and you're like, golly, I'm glad that was over. But
sucks,
there's,
right?
there's those
Yeah.
mornings where it's like, this just feels good. And your body's
Invigorating.
feeling good and you're going to hit the ground running for the day. And that's just what today feels.
Oh man, you just put me in a place because it's like beautiful mornings right now in upstate New York.
Oh.
It's sunny. The birds are out every day, right?
Same
And just
here,
the
man.
the thought of like going outside and running on a country road, even for like 15 minutes, sounds
Yep.
amazing right now.
No
you
doubt.
just put me there in a mental place. So there you go. You contribute a little bit too. You put me there in a mental
Syracuse is
place.
going to see Paul in his flat bill just doing a jog in his AF1.
I'm running. It's back.
back.
No. I have real running shoes, and the hat would be backwards. Just
Oh,
to
gosh.
clarify. We have
That's
some
great.
fun stuff going on today. Actually, we have a pretty busy day in the Sodaverse at 10 o'clock. We're doing Pitch Tank on LinkedIn.
There you
So
go.
LinkedIn audio. So if you're around and if you want to hear some great pitches and some great judges asking questions that you wouldn't know to ask, but you really need to know, join us for Pitch Tank. You can just go. How we get into Pitch Tank this week?
Just head to our LinkedIn, hit the little bell to make sure you get hit up on it. But it's on the Asodu LinkedIn this morning. It's not on mine.
First time
So
ever.
A little bit of a switch. LinkedIn gave us a little love there. So
Good. Also at 2 o'clock today, we have a fun webinar with our friends at Call Review, driving customer loyalty through service. We happen to believe webinars should have a little energy and be a little fun. You know what to expect from the team at Asoto. Kyle and I will be hosting the webinar with our friends there. So that's at 2 o'clock Eastern today. You can just go to asotu.com, scroll down a little bit, and you can register. We hope to see you there. Got a lot of people signed up. It's going to be a good time. Good time. What else we
and
got?
we're only 1 week away from Asodu X in Arlington. 1 week.
Today,
away
1 week today.
from the live tonight. That is going to be a fire show. You should be there. If you're not there, it'll be live streamed. Whole 9 yards. Go to asotux.com and you'll find all the deets.
Yeah, and you heard it here first too. We're planning a premiere during Digital Dealer in May. So we drop a little thing there. I mean, a premiere for a TV show type thing. We may or may not be filming next week while we're in Arlington, Texas. Follow our social accounts. We'll definitely be doing a lot of behind the scenes. Again, trying to bring the industry together, trying to be in the dealerships with the practitioners, with the industry partners, saying like, this is how we collaborate together. It's by being together, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to be there in person and bring as many of you in person and virtually as we can. All right, today we have some news. There's always
Speaking
some
of
news.
practitioners,
Let's go.
Segue.
now
Okay, a Soto investor and our dear friend David Long, executive GM of the San Francisco area Hansel Auto Group, was quoted in an automotive news article pretty extensively today, and he's calling the EV demand in that area, quote, insatiable.
makes sense.
And the timing is good as JD Power just released their latest eVision intelligence report that they do monthly. In the report, they predict that 3 in 4 consumers will be able to choose a viable EV option by 2026. It's really close due to falling prices and just like the robust selection of vehicles that is coming out. Right now, about 8.5% of new vehicle sales are EVs in the first 2 months of this year, which is a record high, and it's tracking even more growth. He continues, David Long continues in his quote. He says, there's so many questions about charging and the things that consumers just really want to hear another human being tell them. So he's saying it's not about them just reading the info. There's like a skepticism where you need to look another person in the eye and have them be knowledgeable and confident in giving you the answers to show you. He says we've had to become really, really good at being able to provide customers with information. And the more we can communicate to our customers, the more comfortable they will be, and the easier it will be for them to make that decision and that transition from ICE to EV. It's also noted that the $26,000 Chevy Volt is really an example of a pricing parity, means inequality, to a gasoline engine, meaning there's an EV option that's the same as price and equipment and, you know, stuff as a gasoline engine. So, man, EVs aren't for upscale buyers only anymore, it seems.
Yep. No, it's not. And I will say, like, the thought process behind just needing a lot more education from a customer in order to move people into this is absolutely valid. I mean, anecdotally, back when we were selling the Leaf in 2011,
yeah, you were on the front line of that.
Yeah, every single early adopter has more questions. They got spreadsheets on spreadsheets. They got things printed out everywhere. They're trying to make sense of the whole thing. And this is going to continue to be a thing for the next 3 to 5 years, probably, where we're still in a very early adopter phase as we just talk about the breadth, the depth of the market. And so keying in on, like, my employees, if we have EVs, whether they be new or used, need to be extremely knowledgeable about just everything that comes along with that. All of the questions that could be asked, not just about vehicle specs, but more importantly, ownership. And
that's the big deal, right?
Yep.
The ownership experience is what people are really, am I going to get stuck? How am I going to charge this thing? How do I find chargers? What happens when the cold weather, right? Like those are the practical things that people think of first, other than 0 to 60 in however many seconds. Right. But here's the deal. That's only going to happen if the managers and the GMs make it a priority to drip feed EV education to their team, even though it's a small percentage of sales. But when that customer, they talk in the article a little bit more about, like, they have a lot more traffic and interest on EVs, actually, he said, than gasoline engines, which was crazy to me. But he said the closing ratio is super low because people are in fact-finding mode.
Right. Yes. That makes a ton of sense. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I don't know if this is something I want to do. And so actually you're getting showroom traffic that's high funnel, which is nuts. That's a wild.
What was the last time that happened?
Yeah. Showroom traffic that's high funnel. That was like the 80s when you got people stopping by to get the brochure, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, actually, those things? When I first started in the car business in 2009, we had people looking for brochures left and right. Like, the internet was not a thing back then. I'm telling you. It's
gosh. Wild. Oh, it's so funny
how about 2009.
That's not that far away.
But it's forever ago. But people were still like, the automotive websites were pretty rough. I mean, they kind of still are, but they were really rough back then.
Different standard, though. Man. Different standard.
Next. Speaking of rough technology
and standards, okay.
Segue.
I think we both had a valid segue there. That's definitely the first time we both spit out an actual valid segue at the exact same time. We'll have to split up the audio afterwards and just roll each of them. Well, Tesla's cybersecurity team might have a little bit of work ahead of them, as a French firm, Skynactive, easily hacked a Tesla Model 3 at a security conference. These are white hat hackers. They're the good guys, gaining access to the system in under 2 minutes. In order to do that, from doing that, they actually won $350,000 and a brand new Tesla. And the hack was a complete full compromise of the system. They actually went in through the infotainment system, and instead of trying to access the main system, they were able to do things like open the trunk and the doors while the vehicle is in motion. This was all a simulation, of course. The team did replace, typical hacker fashion, the Tesla logo on the infotainment with their logo. That's like so boss mode.
So smart.
And the hack's
like genius move.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
Let's pay people to see how we can make our stuff better.
But like in a very R&D PR, like all of the things that you get from earned media. Don't tell me Tesla doesn't market. They got the marketing.
No, they were there on site, the Tesla engineers, to verify that it was definitely a hack and it was definitely a vulnerability. They did say, they are going to fix the bugs over the air update. Great. Thanks for showing us that. It's not there anymore. Right? Like, so
unreal. I mean, like, you think about this, and this is kind of a cool thing, and there's a lot of questions around, EVs and over-the-air updates and connectivity and whether or not, they're secure from hackers and things like that. Not just the information, but the ability to drive the vehicle in autonomous situations. So there's all of that, which is a really just interesting developing story when we're talking about these vehicles. And again, to our first story's point, being aware of that in the EV marketplace. But the bigger learning here for me is actually for every business, any dealership, to not just think about their people, their processes, the way they do business, the way that they integrate tech from an internal perspective only, but start to get external perspective on that, because people are always going to find holes and gaps that you're never going to see because you're just so used to seeing the same things over and over. And that's what Tesla did so beautifully. So any business can take that and run with it.
This goes back to our idea from yesterday of a live mystery shop show.
Oh man, we'll get in so much trouble, but it's gonna be so good. Oh no,
I mean, look, you got to give the people what they want. It's actually help a service.
If you want Paul and me to mystery shop your store, let us know. We'll try it on you. Come on.
I'm trying to think of a way we could do it and hide the identity of the store. Right, we should figure out a way to do that, because I think this would be a real show. This could be a real show.
I mean, we'd have to pre-record it, bleep out the hi, welcome to.
Oh my gosh, a live mystery shop. Oh,
live mystery shop would be nuts.
On a stage at a Soducon.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be glued to that session.
Everybody's lit.
Well, to wrap up the Tesla story, I couldn't really figure out and find, but I'm pretty sure that you actually have to be in the vehicle and plugged into it in order to hack it. So this isn't something that, like the black hat's going to pull up and over the air hack into your Tesla if you have one. But I don't know. I'm sure they're working on that too. Speaking of working on things.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Kyle, you're one of the biggest Apple fans.
Apple is getting into the buy now, pay later game. Letting select Apple Pay users, they've only rolled it out to a few, swallow the full purchase price of online items one bite at a time. It's called Apple Pay Later, the most ingenious title that we've ever heard in our whole lives. Basically, what's going to happen is users will be able to apply for quick buy now, pay later loans from anywhere from $50 to $1,000 and repay them over 4 payments without interest or fees over a 6-week time period. So it's a quick short-term loan. They've created a new subsidiary called Apple Financing LLC. They are responsible for the credit assessment, but then they partner with MasterCard installments to make sure that the service is active and running, because they got, MasterCard's doing a thing. No credit check required. Loans and payments, though, will be reported to credit bureaus. So, people got to buy them purses.
Well,
they got to buy them shoes.
So Apple has been really an advocate. Their whole brand positioning behind Apple Pay and the Apple Card when it came out was financial health, right? How do you stay financial healthy? How do you make sure your credit card bill's paid on time? How do you do all this? So there's definitely a little skepticism in the market that this might go against what their overall brand is for the financial sector. Buy now, pay later has become very, very popular starting in the pandemic. And there have been some massive acquisitions of companies. Why can't I think of it? Is it Klarma? Klarma? Is that the company?
Yeah, Klarma. And then Afterpay also got acquired.
So Klarma got acquired for like 60 billion and now is only valued at like 6 billion.
Yeah,
so there's this
8.6.
So there was this rush to this market, and then it's kind of drawn back. But now Apple's getting in the game. Obviously, the ecosystem ease of it makes a lot of sense. However, the question of hey, is this actually good for consumers? Does it hurt spending discipline? I think the way this kind of boils down to dealers. I mean, look how there's a lot of systems in place to pay for your auto repairs later. I wonder if Apple's going to target that or make that available as part of it.
Why
wouldn't they? Right. Because you figure
why wouldn't all of our service MPI and scheduling tools and things that have payments start looking into making sure that they're connected to Apple Pay options to pay?
Yeah.
Just to it's just a service that's available to customers. Boom.
They did have an interesting stat in the article that talked about how adoption pre-COVID was like 10 to 12%. And now it's almost 90% of terminals accept Apple Pay. Right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, what would we do without Apple Pay when we're on the road?
I would be so mad.
Frustrated.
I would just angry at life.
Their whole goal is they want to replace your wallet, right? They want to make it so that you don't need a wallet. You just have to have that. I've even been seeing, I think it was, what airport were we in? Wasn't Chicago? But basically it was apply for a digital ID, like a digital driver's license.
Oh, and no, that's
what state was that? Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
so
Maybe
I
that was
saw this.
Arizona. Might have been in Arizona. They in Phoenix.
Gonna do
I feel like
things a little faster. Yeah, it's all
they're a
blurring
little
together at
faster.
this
They
point.
got
All
Waymo
blurring
out there
together.
in the whole 9 yards. Yeah, yeah. Hey, interesting times. That's for sure. Interesting
Oh,
times.
for sure. Either way, we're running. We're paying attention to things. We're bringing you with us. Join us today at Pitch Tank, 10 o'clock Eastern. Car review webinar, 2 p.m. Eastern. A Soto X next week, April 5th.
Come on.
Leave the right.